The Viewpoint is live now.
ये मुद्राएं कानूनन अमान्य होगी.
The one statement that changed everything. The lives of a billion people disrupted. Lives lost, jobs gone, GDP crumbled. But Modi Sarkar was on a UP high. Now the RBI drops a demonetization bomb. 99% of banned currency back in the system. The government still claims demonetization is a success.
It is obvious that post-demonetization, the direct tax base has already started expanding substantially.
The opposition asks, where is the black money?
Demonetization eventually turned out to be a convenient mechanism for people who hoarded black money to convert it.
The biggest political blockbuster or the biggest economic blunder?
Good evening, namaskar, adab. I think that's the fundamental question, folks, that we put up there. That was demonetization the biggest economic blunder, or was it the ultimate political masterstroke? Immediately after Finance Minister Arun Jaitley addressed that press conference yesterday, I put out a tweet last night, and on my Twitter handle, I'd said exactly this, that I believe there may be two views on whether it was an economically sound decision or not, but politically speaking, it certainly has helped the Bharatiya Janata Party's cause. I believe there is absolutely no doubt about the fact that demonetization has been, quite simply put, the most disruptive economic move which has been seen in India since independence. A lot was said, promised by the authorities. It's also true that the goalposts on demonetization kept changing like the direction of the wind. But before I get into that debate on demonetization, just want to play some pictures of an issue on which the winds just don't change. Patriotism, nationalism. On this specific question of nationalism, there is nothing in this country that changes. You know where we've got these pictures from, and you know what's happening here? 8 a.m. each morning in Telangana, every person, wherever that individual is being asked by the cops to simply put his hands right there, do a salute, and sing the national anthem. Now, I'm all for singing the national anthem. I can sing the national anthem just like these guys. But why would you expect people to stop in their tracks right where they are? Old citizens, school kids, vegetable vendors, housewives. Why would you think in terms of a move like this? You know why? Because the Telangana cops believe that it's only when you create nationalism and a sense of false patriotism like this that people will stop thinking about their own problems. What really happened? Just take a good hard look at this. Now tell me seriously, while the national anthem was being played, did you give up your dinner plate? Did you give up the glass of water? Did you put down your mobile phone? Did you get up from the bed? Did you get up from that comfortable rocking chair on which you sit each evening and you watch me stand here? If you did not, folks, then I believe it's a sense of false nationalism. That is what I keep reminding you day in, day out. Please go in and ask yourself, what is your real definition of nationalism? Because if you don't ask this question to yourself, you know what will happen? Exactly the scenes that you saw, where people will ask you, stand on the road, each day at a specific time, and if you do that, then your problems will disappear. You'll forget about your problems. That's what a false nationalistic narrative is all about. That's exactly the point which is being attempted by the central government as well. The central government is trying to spin a narrative, and it's the narrative of demonetization. In some ways, nationalism is also deeply embedded with demonetization. Didn't the Prime Minister, the Finance Minister, and every top constitutional authority in this country say that this is the move which has to be made for India's interest? Because you are a nationalistic individual, so you must take this pain for the long-term gain. Where is the gain? 99% of the banned currency, folks, is back in the system according to RBI. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley is claiming the government never believed that the money would not come back, and that demonetization is an even bigger success from what it was initially envisaged. On Viewpoint tonight, a direct breakdown of what is it that's being suggested by the Finance Minister. Is it factually correct or not? And the man who's helping us do that is someone who certainly knows a thing or two about handling the state of affairs of Indian economy. Former Finance Minister P. Chidambaram. He is very direct, he is very, very blunt tonight, and he's saying it as it should be stated. An exclusive interview with the former Finance Minister, who's our big newsmaker, up ahead on Viewpoint tonight. 24 hours after RBI releases the demonetization data, guess what happens today? The GDP numbers are released. And once again, the GDP numbers are not showing you the picture that the government wants you to believe. The GDP growth, consistently reclining, consistently coming down, has now hit a 3-year low this quarter of 5.7%. Disruptions, it seems, caused by demonetization, some confusion due to GST, slowdown this quarter in manufacturing activities, all that has led to a scenario where our GDP has shrunk below 6%, and yet those nationalistic channels and certainly certain warrior individuals within the union government want you to only and only think about nationalism, while you should be thinking about what's happened to that money that you had in your pocket. Let me break down the numbers for you, and let's explain to you what is it that's really happened in the context of demonetization. This is the claim which has been made by the Finance Minister. He says 99% of banned 500 rupee and 1000 rupee notes have been returned to the Reserve Bank of India. 15 lakh crore worth notes were deposited till the 30th of June 2017. 16,000 crore worth old notes were not returned, and this is what the government is banking upon. 86% of cash in circulation was withdrawn after that dramatic announcement which was made by Prime Minister Modi on the 8th of November last year. 7,965 crores was the cost of printing new notes. So whatever gain that the government claims, roughly 16,000 crores that they have made, please add this 7,965 crores to it. So you're technically looking at around about 9,000 crores is what the government claims it may well have got at the end of the day. Has it got or not? Well, this next figure will answer that question. 2 percentage point is a decline of GDP growth. Exactly what Manmohan Singh had said. 2 percentage point, the GDP may shrink. 18 lakh people with disproportionate income under the scanner, and this is the big hope, the big expectation that the centre has, that they will be able to increase their tax base, they will be able to crack down very, very hard against black money hoarders. How will it really play out? Is it really happening? Let's do a reality check of sorts of all the claims and counter claims which have been made so far. Claim number 1. Demonetization will result in 3 lakh crores not returning to the system. That was the first claim which was made. What's the reality? 99% of all old currency has now been returned. So what's happened to the 3 lakh crore? Certainly you're not getting that money back. Claim number 2, 500 and 1000 rupee notes will end fake currency. And you know what is the reality? Even today, fake 2000 rupee notes have been discovered in Mumbai. And consistently we've got reports across the country of fake currency still being in circulation. The recovery of counterfeit notes has risen by 20%, negligible in total currency in circulation as of now. Doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. Next claim, number of taxpayers, tax collection will rise significantly. Is it really happening? New tax filers have increased by 25%, no doubt about that. total income tax collections have risen by 20%. Is the government's claim therefore working on the ground that it will arm itself with a much broader tax base? Demonetization was all about increasing digitization. That was a claim which came into the entire narrative over a period of time. And what's the reality? The RBI reported a fall in pace of digitization as cash had clearly, well and truly returned to the system. In the long run, and the word long run, in the long term, was used so frequently by the top authorities of this government. In the long term, the claim was tax growth and digitization will boost India's economy. And what's the reality? You've seen the reality. Our GDP numbers have slipped below 6%, down to 5.7% between April and June, from 6.1% between January and March. And the story of India's consistently low GDP numbers is something which has been happening with a very dangerous frequency. Last night, just in the context of all these numbers that have come up, when I was looking at my Twitter timeline, I looked at numbers and I did some data crunching, and I took this position very clearly. The reason why I'm putting this up right at the outset on my program is because many people were wondering, what is it that I'm really trying to say? If I'm saying bad economics, then why am I saying that it can provide rich dividends? How can bad economics provide rich dividends? Well, folks, strange things happen in Indian politics. That's why my viewpoint tonight is very clear. I believe demonetization was a move which wasn't thought through. It was a move which belied, according to me, all normal senses. Government consistently changed goalposts, and no one frankly had any idea at that point of time about what was going to happen. The government between November and March, till the time the UP results came out, was very edgy. No one has any idea about how the country really has benefited, if at all it has benefited. Yet, of course, the political narrative has been that it was a huge success. If you look around, ministers are all busy tweeting about it. I'm sure that tomorrow there will be full-page ads that will come out as well, and all ads will compliment the Prime Minister and the establishment. Problem though, folks, and I must say this with a certain degree of disappointment, it remains with the opposition. The opposition is still not managing to convert this into some kind of a narrative. As the opposition continues to make one blunder after the other, its inability to stitch a narrative is what is hurting the opposition and, according to me, hurting Indian democracy as well. Now, before I welcome our panelists, let's play the interview that we've got of the big newsmaker tonight. I caught up with the former finance minister, Mr. P. Chidambaram, to find out from him why is it that demonetization has led to the numbers being so down, so bad, and is this how the India story is now headed, or can the story now somewhere witness a completely different upturn? P. Chidambaram, our big newsmaker tonight. Let me first understand the significance, sir, of what has been suggested by the present finance minister, who says 99% of old currency notes have come back into the banking system. Is it good for India? Is it bad for India?
It means that demonetization eventually turned out to be a convenient mechanism for people who hoarded black money to convert it. Please remember, government claimed, not in a casual manner, the Attorney General told the Supreme Court of India, and many ministers said this, many articles were written, sponsored articles, that 3-4 lakh crore rupees will not come back to the system, and that's a huge gain for the economy. That amount of black money will be impounded, and the liability of RBI will be extinguished. There'll be a huge dividend for the government, and all that has gone up in smoke. That's why I said, as it turned out, it may not have been intended that way. As it turned out, demonetization was a convenient device for hoarders to convert their unaccounted money to white money.
But look at what Mr. Jaitley is saying now. He says just because money has come back into the banking system, it doesn't make that money legitimate money. Should I be buying that argument?
It is legitimate unless it is proved to be illegitimate.
So if he says that actually now the possibility of more taxes
so let's see. We'll believe that when we see the results. At the moment they have said we have detected undisclosed income of about 16,000 crore or so.
Now, with this,
now that will go through a process of adjudication, assessment, appeal, an appeal to the tribunal, High Court. It's only at the end of it, which will take place 7, 8 years later, we'll know how much is actually incremental tax income, tax revenue as a result of this exercise.
So, Mr. Chidambaram, what is it? What is it, sir, which was the driving force, according to you, for demonetization?
Bad advice.
Do you have any idea?
Bad advice.
Bad advice.
Bad
over 100
economics.
people lost their lives, sir.
104.
104, over 100, that's what I'm saying, over 100 people lost their
15
lives.
lakh people lost their jobs. Millions of man hours, woman hours were wasted standing in queues. Micro, small industry was virtually wiped out. They're trying to find their feet. Legitimate businesses still continue to function at 60% of capacity. Ask any restaurator, ask any barber, ask any shopkeeper, he will tell you business is down by as much as 40 to 50%.
Does this in any way, sir, does this in any way also impact this new GST regime which has been implemented by the government? Is there any link between the two, according to you?
What's the connection between demonetization, where currency was demonetized, and indirect tax revenue?
I'll tell you, what the government is trying to say is that you should not be looking at demonetization in isolation. That demonetization is an exercise which was indulged in as a larger collection of steps.
Who said that and when?
The government, I'm telling you.
When?
Well,
yesterday?
No, yesterday, the finance minister said this on multiple occasions.
Read the letter of November 7, 2016, written by the government to the RBI. Read the speech of the Prime Minister on November 8. There were only 3 objectives. Fake currency, funding of terrorism through fake currency, and black money. On all 3 objectives, this is a disaster.
Total disaster.
Complete disaster.
Now, Manmohan Singh went on record, sir, in Parliament and said that India's economy was going to be shrunk.
It has.
Because of these steps which were taken by the government.
It has.
Do you believe that what has happened now, the data which is being released by the government now, is it also in some ways accepting that indeed India's GDP has shrunk?
The data last released, Q4, the last quarter of 2015-16, GVA was 8.7%. The last quarter of 2016-17, GVA was 5.6%. It's a slide of 3.6%. Please remember, under UPA 1, we were in the 8 to 9% growth bracket. Under UPA 2 and the first couple of years of BJP, we were in the 7 to 8% growth bracket. Now we are in the 6 to 7% growth bracket. From 8 to 9% to 7 to 8% to 6 to 7% is a fall of at least 1.5 to 2%.
That's the economic argument which you're giving us. Look at the political side also, the objectives behind demonetization.
Those 3 objectives.
Consistently, the objectives also changed?
Naturally, when they found that they were floundering on the first 3 objectives, they had to invent new objectives. They're very inventive, I must say.
Don't you think, sir, don't you think that the time has also come? Because now I hear that there is a new 1,000 rupee note which may come by the end of the year. There is a new 50 rupee note which is already now in circulation. When an economy plays around with its fundamentals, and a big economy like India, when it plays around with its fundamentals like this, how does it augur for the future?
See, I think there are well-established rules for currency. India is not the first country that has currency. The rules are that you must have only small denomination notes, so that you push people who want to do large transactions into non-cash transaction. My personal view, the highest denomination note in India should be 500 rupees. In the US, it's a $100 bill. In the UK, it's a 50-pound bill. We should have 500 rupees, which has become the common currency. Unfortunately, yesterday's report says 50.2% of the currency is in 2,000 rupee notes. You demonetize 500 and 1,000, and your economy today is dominated by 2,000 rupee notes.
So what should be done?
What should be done? No, you shouldn't demonetize again.
Is it time now to get rid of 2,000 rupee notes?
For heaven's sake, don't demonetize again. Phase it out. Don't print any more 2,000. As it comes back to the system, impound it. Print only 500 rupee notes and lower denomination notes. That's the way to push people into digitization. So small transactions will take place in cash. large transactions will take place in non-cash.
But then, sir, in conclusion, I must ask you that, you are giving us such articulate answers to how a monumental policy like demonetization has collapsed. Why then, sir, is the Congress not in a position to build this as a narrative? Jairam Ramesh still says you are all behaving like sultans of a falling sultanate.
Well, I don't...
Is this not a self-defeating argument, sir? Politically, why can't you set a narrative, sir?
I won't comment on what anyone else says. One of the reasons is the media has been virtually captured by the government. There is not enough space, not enough time given to the counter-narrative.
But this is the counter-narrative. I mean,
yes,
you are a former finance minister.
I agree, but I write every week. I speak when I think I should speak. But by and large, the media buys into the government story. For example, you bought into the story that the popular vote was in favor of demonetization. You look at the vote in UP, it is in favor of demonetization. Let's accept that facile conclusion. On the same day, Punjab voted resoundingly against the BJP. Goa and Manipur pushed the BJP to second place. So I think these facile conclusions which the government trots out should not be accepted by the media. Even yesterday, I think, media should have asked tough, hard questions to the finance minister.
And what would those questions have been?
Well, the questions would have been, why is the 2,000 rupee note the dominant note? Were not three objectives the objectives you put in your letter to the RBI? How did the RBI recommend such a major measure within 24 hours without a background paper and without an agenda note? These are questions should have been asked.
Should the parliamentary panel, sir, there is a standing committee on finance as well. Don't you think that these are also questions
of course,
which should be raised at that
level? Of course, I'm sure they're raising it.
Are those questions going to be raised?
I don't know. I'm not a member of the panel.
Well, because I checked yesterday and I was told that the term of the previous committee is already expired.
No, that is August 31.
So you again get stuck in legalese, sir?
No legalese. The new committee will be constituted in the first 10 days of September. The chairmanship of that committee goes to the opposition party. Therefore, the Congress member will continue to be chairman. The BJP will have a majority, but parliamentary committees are not supposed to function on party lines and normally do not function on party lines. So I think with proper leadership, that committee can examine the question of demonetization.
Final question then, sir. What's the lesson that the government, Indian democracy should take from what has happened in these last 8 months?
The lesson is economic matters are far too important to be decided on the basis of whims or bad advice. You should have consulted a wider cross-section of people. For example, the government should have consulted Dr. Manmohan Singh. Are you saying that Dr. Singh will not keep a secret? In fact, I have written about it. The CEA was not consulted. On the day demonetization was announced, the CEA was in faraway Kerala. He heard about it on the radio or television as you and I did. But I think there should be wider consultation and careful deliberation before you take such measures which have cost 104 lives, wiped out 15 lakh jobs, impoverished millions of people for 2-3 months, wiped out small businesses and micro businesses, and pulled down the economy from an 8 to 9% growth path to a 6 to 7% growth path.
Okay, folks, the demonetization devil certainly is out in full flow. And it seems already because of the numbers that have come in, because of the bad couple of weeks that have happened for the government, the fact that the government has now already completed 3.5 years, and there is talk of the government now preponing the next Lok Sabha elections as well. Just a few weeks before Gujarat goes to polls, the biggest reshuffling of Prime Minister Modi's cards is set to begin. The big story that we've officially confirmed now is that Union Minister Rajiv Pratap Rudy has been asked to put in his papers. He's out. Rajiv Pratap Rudy, member of parliament from Bihar, who was looking after the skills ministry, was actually one of the late entrants into the Modi Council of Ministers. He's the first person who's been asked to step down. Now, has he been asked to step down because the Prime Minister was not happy with his performance? Were there allegations of impropriety against him, or is it a simple case of the BJP wanting to reshuffle its pack on the ground in every conceivable way? Now that the BJP has got itself an alliance government with Nitish Kumar in the state of Bihar, the BJP also is on the lookout for for someone to lead the party in the state of Bihar. The BJP wants to ensure that the next Lok Sabha results are an encore of what had happened in 2014. GVL Narasimha Rao, spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, is there. GVL, big story breaking that Rajiv Pratap Rudy has been asked to put in his papers. Can you throw some light as to what is it that Amit Shah has on his mind?
No, I would not really like to speculate that you have been doing for several days and weeks now, and I'm
no
hearing
speculation,
it,
all
for the
confirmation.
first time on the news.
All confirmation, no speculation.
But, okay, but if he has resigned, obviously the party maybe he is really being maybe the party wanted him for larger responsibilities in the party. I don't know, but it's pure your conjecture when you say he's been asked to put in his
okay, let me get my colleague Maria
I
Shakil
think this
then.
is something
okay.
I would not like to
okay, I take your point.
Comment upon.
I take your
pure
point.
Speculation.
I take your point, GVL. You're a seasoned spokesperson. You don't want to comment till you've heard from your party president on record. I take that point. I respect you for that. But let me go across to Maria Shakil then to get beyond this speculation. Maria, this news was doing the rounds for a very, very long time, and I am going to put some more names on the table, and I want my producers to listen to me very, very carefully, because we got the inside track on the cabinet reshuffle story. And folks, it's a big story which is waiting to explode. Firstly, Maria, let's go one by one. Let's look at Rajiv Pratap Rudy. Why is Rudy out?
What we are told is that Bhupen, of course, as you have been pointing out, that this will be the last cabinet reshuffle before the elections in 2019. So a number of ministers who are largely being seen as non-performing ministers, ministers with whom Prime Minister Narendra Modi isn't really happy, will be going back to the party, back to the organization.
But why? Why was he not happy? Maria, when you say that Prime Minister was unhappy with Rajiv Pratap Rudy, I want to know, what did Rudy do? What did Rudy do? I mean, he was an erudite person. He could represent the cause of the BJP. Is there some specific instance that we're talking about?
Well, we do not have clarity on that. But given the fact that Rajiv Pratap Rudy is the first minister who has been asked to resign, and this clearly means that we are heading for a major cabinet reshuffle. What we are told from within the government and sources in the party are saying that this is going to be a major cabinet reshuffle. It's not just going to be some ordinary, shuffling of cards. This will be a reflection of what the party and the government is thinking, because all those who will be entering the government in 2017 will also be reflected also in 2019, Bhupen. So clearly this looks like to be a major cabinet reshuffle. What we are also told is because there is a new entrant in Bihar, JDU is likely to be getting a cabinet berth as well. Also, AIA DMK could find a representation. There is a strong buzz that NCP could also be included in the new reshuffle that happens likely now on Saturday, because the president is not here in New Delhi on tomorrow, that is first, and he is back on second morning. So this reshuffle could take place on second evening. That's
so reshuffle, yes, reshuffle certainly is taking place day after tomorrow. What we're told is that the reshuffle is taking place at 7 p.m. in the evening. I have a GVL Narasimha Rao with me, who I'm sure is only getting more and more shocked with the kind of reports which are coming in. More of my reporters would be joining us in a short while. Mohammad Khan, spokesperson of the Congress party, with us here in the studios as well. Mohammad, quick comment from you. Yes, the BJP cracking down. If Maria, Maria is right that the Prime Minister is upset with Rudy, so the Prime Minister cracks down. Doesn't this show that this is a Prime Minister who actually believes in really walking the talk?
Not really, Bhupen, but interestingly, and Rajiv Pratap Rudy is a great story unto himself, and I'll tell you why. Now, this is a government which is run by two people, Amit Shah and Modi. There are only two netas in this party. That's something that we've long held, and this facade of formidability is actually very, very insecure inside. And that insecurity and pettiness drives these movements. Now, Rajiv Pratap Rudy was a powerhouse in the NDA 1. He was Civil Aviation Minister. Here, he was brought in as an MOS. He was cut down to size. 10 years of his life dedicated to this party, and he's rewarded in this fashion. There are other ministers who've been treated in the same way as well.
Well, I want to put another name on the table.
I will tell you,
I want to put another
this
name
is not surprising at all.
I want to put another name on the table. I understand that Radha Mohan Singh, Agriculture Minister, also either said to be dropped or his portfolio is said to be changed. I understand that Nitin Gadkari, Union Minister for Shipping and Surface Transport, Union Minister Nitin Gadkari is said to be elevated as Railways Minister. I also understand that Arun Jaitley, who's already gone on record and he said that he's not going to be the Defence Minister for a long time, Arun Jaitley will be giving up one of those two portfolios that he holds between finance and defense, and the word is that he shall certainly continue to be the finance minister, but the defense portfolio may be given to someone else. Now comes the question of who are these new allies. GVL, while you may not want to speak about who's in and who's out, and I can accept that, but what about NCP? Can you at least officially confirm, deny, is the NCP going to be a part of the NDA?
Bhupendra, I think we were here to actually debate on the demonetization, the annual report of the RBI yesterday and those topics. Honestly, I do not want to really join this speculation. You see, JDU has already joined the NDA. So whenever a reshuffle happens, it's natural that the existing constituents of the coalition are likely to be inducted into the Council of Ministers, and that will not be a surprise. But you take the name of a party, you ask the Congress spokesperson.
I think it will be
ask the Congress spokesperson whether NCP is quitting UPA.
You've been a loyal member of this party.
Ask him whether NCP is dumping the Congress. I think he would be.
The future doesn't
he should be able to answer this.
Well, another name.
Is the NCP dumping Congress? I think please ask Mohammed.
Sir, they just announced yesterday that they are going to fight the elections with us. So I think that question they answered emphatically yesterday. These are also the same people who proudly came forth and emphatically in your face said that they supported Mr. Ahmed Patel. Though we didn't need the support at the time, but it was very gracious of them to say so.
GVL, I must ask you that, let's be clear, GVL, about one thing, that we are in for a round of cabinet reshuffle. We are in, and this is going to be a major rejig. I understand that this is going to be the last rejig of Modi's pact. What's the determining factor for you? As I say that Uma Bharti is said to be out. Rajiv Pratap Rudy has already put in his papers. I understand, as I said, that Radha Mohan Singh said to be out. Nitin Gadkari said to be elevated. There is buzz of Maharashtra Chief Minister being brought to Delhi. What is the message that Prime Minister Modi is trying to send to the people of the country?
I think Bhupendra,
I'll record all this and I'll play it out for you on Saturday. I'll record and play it out for you on Saturday.
No, Bhupendra, I think you have been saying this for a week at least, and many friends in the media have been reporting several stories. And if all this has to come true, I think we need a 300 strong ministry, because the number of names that have been really mentioned, really we need a 300 strong ministry, and that is not going to happen. So certainly, I think let us not speculate on the names or the parties that are likely to join. But certainly one thing is important. I think we have about a year and a half to go before the election. Actually, the real campaign kicks in, and certainly this is the last 1/3 of the term of this government, and this is the time we want to consolidate our gains.
Right.
And we have really had
both know that your choices are never driven by performance.
What I want to know,
Yogi Adityanath proved that the last thing you consider is qualifications, sir. The last thing you consider is qualifications.
No, I'm only interested.
He's been a 5-term. You have a different way of looking at elections.
Okay.
Yogi Adityanath, he is a 5-term member of parliament,
not to
a hugely popular leader,
possible, sir.
and you are a family party, and you are telling us that we are leader-centric. We have leaders. We have leaders who have really risen from the ranks by dint of their performance. They are not thrust on the party. They are not thrust on the party like Rahul Gandhi is done.
Okay,
the poor finance minister, man of such great standing, reduced to being a puppet for this government yesterday. It was embarrassing. A man of his stature being an apologist for your policies.
Let's look at facts. Fact number one is that Rajiv Pratap Rudy is out. He is officially sent in his resignation letter. That much is confirmed. Fact number 2 is Uma Bharti, Union Minister for Water Resources, has also sent in her resignation letter citing health grounds. Now, Lord Meghnath Desai is there with us as well, and I know that we lined up this panel to talk about demonetization and its merits or demerits, but such is the way of Indian politics, Lord. Now that this decision has been taken and we are set for a complete changing of fortune as far as Union Cabinet is concerned, do you believe this is the right time? Do you believe if the NCP was to enter, the NDA, what kind of a message would that be sending, Lord?
Well, I would say that NCP entering NDA would harm the NDA more than it would help the NCP. Because if BJP wants to maintain a corruption-free image, NCP is not a very good choice to have on board. Sorry to say that, but one has to say those things. It would not be a good choice.
It will not be a good choice.
I'm not the Prime Minister.
Yeah, no, but you know, this, and I must say that as far as the NCP's inclusion in the NDA is concerned, that's buzz. That's been a total buzz as far as NCP's inclusion in the NDA is concerned. What about AIADMK? There has been buzz for the longest time, Lord Desai, that two factions of the AIADMK will merge and the AIADMK will be in the NDA.
One tactic, hang on, listen to me. One tactic. You see, one tactic is to be so inclusive that anybody who comes on board, except the Congress, can be part of NDA. But that would be just including everybody. Now, my view is that NCP comes with a baggage, and that baggage is not suitable to the image of BJP.
Okay, so NCP comes with a baggage.
I can't say more than that.
Yeah, sure. No, fair enough. I take that point, and that's the point that I was trying to put to GVL Narasimha Rao. And again, GVL, why am I qualifying my comment that yes, NCP's inclusion is more speculation. I don't have personal confirmation. All the other names will be put up. I'm personally vouching for all those names. But as far as the NCP is concerned, why is it difficult for you as a spokesperson to take a clear-cut position that the NCP is one of the most corrupt parties that this country has seen? And it's in bed with the Congress party, so take a clear position.
Well, until a month ago, they were in bed with them, so I don't know where they stand.
When we are required to make a comment like this, I would do it. And I don't think this is the time for me to really waxing eloquent.
I think I've got my answer.
About any political party.
I'm getting my answer.
I will not. I don't judge every party every evening.
Except for the Congress. Except for the Congress.
GVL, even in your refusal to say anything, I think you're giving the game away.
GVL, sir.
While you are refusing to describe the NCP.
I'm neither saying anything positive nor negative about any political party or any individual. I don't. I think you accuse me. No, you accuse us every day of giving certificates.
No. I was only asking you a direct question in the context of the NCP. So I must put this out. Praful Patel had put up a one-line denial after the story went out that the NCP was said to be joining the NDA. And I had again tweeted to Praful Patel and I had said that this is the shortest denial I have seen of such an important story. And now GVL Narasimha Rao's refusal to give a character certificate or to hit out against the NCP, I think it's game, set and match.
Volumes.
I think NCP is said to be back as well. Is said to be within the NDA. I think we should put that up as well. But, you know, the names that are doing the rounds, and again, GVL, this is not about speculation. I'm only trying to figure out the message behind this entire exercise. The JDU is to be included, the AIADMK is to be included, even if you don't take the NCP's name right now. When you bring in more of these allies and you shuffle your pack, are these people now said to be working on the ground in the organization? Will we have many more spokespersons like you appearing on TV channels each day?
No.
The parable of Rajiv Pratap Rudy is ringing
as we are in the third term, as we are in the third part of our tenure, the third and the final part of our tenure, certainly I think both the organization and the government need to be really strengthened. And the leadership will certainly want to utilize every leader in accordance with their potential, be it in the government and the organization. I think in this government, I can tell you,
I got Nawab Malik on the NCP.
as the party.
I got NCP leader Nawab Malik on the phone line. Malik Saab, thanks very much for joining us. Malik Saab, क्या आप ऑफिशियली औपचारिक तौर पर इस बात का खंडन कर सकते हैं कि आप एनडीए में बिल्कुल नहीं जाने वाले हैं?
Definitely, this is rumor and baseless. We are having ideological differences with the Bharatiya Janata Party. There is no question of joining NDA, and it is already clarified by Mr. Praful Patel, Supriya Suleji, and Tawar Sahab also clarified in Maharashtra. This is just a rumor, baseless. There is no question joining NDA.
So, no question of the NCP joining the NDA. I'm recording this and I shall keep it till 7 p.m. on Saturday when I understand that you could well be a part of the NDA.
No. This is rumors, baseless rumors, and there is no question joining NDA.
No question of joining the NDA. Okay, Nawab Saab, thanks very much for joining us and giving us that update. Lord Meghnad Desai is very clear, where he says that the message will not be right if the NCP was to be joining the NDA. Let me give you the backstory to this, folks. I understand that a meeting of senior RSS leaders had taken place with senior leadership of the Bharatiya Janata Party, and at that meeting, the RSS had conveyed its strong reservations against the NCP. The only reason why the BJP is still open to that idea of bringing the NCP within the NDA is because of the BJP's problems with Shiv Sena on the ground in Maharashtra. If you bring in the NCP, it sends a message to the likes of Uddhav Thackeray, who never miss out an opportunity to hit out against the Bharatiya Janata Party. It will give him a strong message that if the Shiv Sena wants to be out of the NDA, if the Shiv Sena wants to be continuously in a rivalry with the NDA, with the BJP, well, so be it. The BJP will also have other options. But the big story is this: the wheels have certainly started to roll for the final reshuffle of Modi's pack of ministers. Rajiv Pratap Rudy, the first one firing off the cylinders, he's put in his resignation letter. Uma Bharti, the second minister, who's also offered to resign. The third person is Phaggan Singh Kulaste. He's put in his resignation letter as well. We understand Civil Aviation Minister Ashok Gajpati Raju, his portfolio likely to be changed as well. Many of these names that you're seeing now on your television screens are all individuals who may be asked to go and work on the ground, in the field, in their respective constituencies, and build the entire profile of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Lord Desai, if I'm looking at these names in the context of Modi being very convinced.
Two comments.
Yeah, one moment.
Make two comments.
I just want to ask you, I just want to draw your attention to the possibility, Lord Desai.
Let me make two comments.
Of election being preponed. Lok Sabha election being preponed. Do you think it's a possibility now that we're seeing this massive reject?
No. Let me make two comments about this. First of all, if NCP joins the BJP NDA coalition, it will be Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. But that is not the meaning I'm sure anybody attached to it. But secondly, these people being sent to go out and work in the party sounds like the Kamaraj plan long ago. I'm old enough to remember that. You know, if you don't like somebody, say, go and work for the party. Now, I think what is true is that there is a serious case for preponing the election if you can have it simultaneously with Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan elections, and maybe even bring in Maharashtra forward. Then the Prime Minister has quite rightly wanted to have state elections with the central elections, and that's a good idea, and let him implement partially. I think that's a good idea. I think go ahead and do it, because that would say the government is willing to go to election early and is not worried about winning.
No, but when you look at these names,
why not?
When you look at these names, do you get a sense that maybe Prime Minister Modi is sending this message to his party cadres, to his entire leadership, that now you're in battle gear. I want my key lieutenants to be out in the field. Now, we can put it in any way that I want you to go out in the field because I'm not happy with your work or whatever. But is this the message which Modi is sending, that by the end of 2018, I want to go in for the next round of Lok Sabha elections?
I think he's seriously saying, listen, let's get serious, let's get prepared, the election is near, I will choose when I go, but in the meantime, there's work to do and not ministership to enjoy. You can't just be a minister and stay in Delhi, you've got to get out there in the field and work, which I think is a very good idea.
Okay.
There's no reason why people should think being a minister is a permanent thing.
Okay.
You've got to work for the party.
I just want to put this consolidated list as a graphic that we've got of all the names so far, so that all our viewers are up to date with what's really happening. What's happening is this, that we are set to be witnessing MOS Health, Phaggan Kulaste, his exit, Rajiv Pratap Rudy, his exit, Nitin Gadkari, his possible promotion, Ashok Gajpati Raju, the Union Minister for Civil Aviation, his portfolio may well be changed. Whether that portfolio stays with the TDP or someone else, we need to look out for that. There are 3 new allies who are on the table. The NCP continues to maintain that they're not joining the NDA. The possibility is that it could be that Sharad Pawar's daughter Supriya Sule may be asked to become a part of the Union Council of Ministers. If that happens, Lord Desai has already taken a position that that will not be sending the right kind of message. But, well, in politics, all things happen, you know, and we've seen the worst of enemies becoming the best of friends. If Akhilesh Yadav and Mayawati can think in terms of an alliance with each other, well, then why not? Then why can't the NCP and the Bharatiya Janata Party? This is a story, folks, which will now develop rapidly right through this weekend on CNN News 18. We'll keep you ahead of all the twists and turns. As I thank all my guests for joining us, let me slip into a short break and return with lots of details on that big dramatic story. Welcome back. It's the big dramatic story which is unfolding this Thursday evening, where after weeks and weeks of intense speculation, word has come out finally that we are set for a cabinet reshuffle of the Modi group of ministers this Saturday. The first information which has come in is that of Rajiv Pratap Rudy, Union Minister, who has offered to resign. Uma Bharti has offered to resign on health grounds as well. And I must point out, if Uma Bharti is out citing health grounds, then what happens to Sushma Swaraj? Sushma Swaraj, the Foreign Affairs Minister, whose health has not been in best possible hands. Is Sushma Swaraj's chair also in trouble if Uma Bharti has been asked to step down? Uma Bharti may well have been asked to step down and start campaigning in Madhya Pradesh and in Uttar Pradesh. That's something that we're being told. Ashok Gajpati Raju, Civil Aviation Minister, his portfolio is set to be changed. At the same time, along with these names, what is also happening is that a simultaneous reshuffle is taking place within the Bharatiya Janata Party's office bearers. There will also be a change in the list of governors. The BJP now has a huge set of senior leaders within the parties, leaders who may have completed 70 plus years of age, and therefore all these individuals are set to be getting their roles completely replaced. Maria Shakil is on the phone. Maria, any other details you have?
Told now is Bhupendra that Kalraj Mishra, because of the age factor that could come in play here, he could also resign, though he himself is officially denying it. There are reports, as you pointed out, of Uma Bharti. She has offered to resign on health grounds, but she has confirmed that she did it almost like 7 to 8 days back, so it could not be linked to cabinet reshuffle. But yes, as we understand that is the way that politicians perhaps speak. As far as other confirmations are concerned, there are reports also of Sandeep Balyan, who could go back to the organization for the party work. We are still waiting for confirmation from other fronts, but there is a strong buzz that is going on now that close to 6 ministers, ministers of state, ministers with independent charge, and a cabinet minister possibly could have resigned, offered to resign in the last 24 hours, or could do so in the next 24.
Let's focus on that. Let's focus on the cabinet minister that you're talking about, because that's what I was being told as well over the last 1 week, that the Prime Minister is very clear. One of the top 4, we are told, one of the top 4, which means Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Defence, Ministry of External Affairs and Ministry of Railways. Minister of Railways Suresh Prabhu has already offered to resign. Possibilities that his resignation will be accepted. What about Sushma Swaraj? I'm just wondering, Maria, if Uma Bharti is citing health grounds to step down, what about Sushma Swaraj? Her health also hasn't been in good hands.
But she is very much in the cabinet and she will continue to work. That's what the indication is from the party. As far as Uma Bharti is concerned, Bhupen, of course she has offered to resign on health grounds, but that is also a personal initiative. As you were pointing out, that there were reports that Sushma Swaraj offered to also put in her papers, but that was few weeks and months back. But as far as related to any cabinet reshuffle is concerned, we haven't really heard from Sushma Swaraj so far. But
Right.
one confirmation that has come from Rajiv Pratap Rudy himself, he has spoken to CNN News 18 and he did tell me on a message that he is going back to organization, and that is why he has put in his papers.
We must also tell our viewers the importance, the significance of what we are witnessing today. I think, and that's where the story is really headed. And I think that will really be the biggest import, that for the longest time now, for the last 2 months, certainly there has been this buzz within the corridors of power that the next general elections could be preponed, that you may not, this whole talk of 2019 actually may not take place in 2019. It may well end up concluding in 2018 itself. Certainly with the possibility of assembly elections in Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, and a couple of other states being preponed, and those elections coinciding with the next general elections. the more one looks at the scale, of rejig which is taking place, the announcements which are being made by various ministers, the more one gets convinced that Narendra Modi and Amit Shah are set to be beating the opposition once again by creating a strategy which may just end up delivering a knockout blow against the opposition. Thanks very much, Maria. We'll come back to you once you have some more details. Let's come to a short break. This will be the big story which we'll continue tracking all through the evening on CNN News 18 tonight.